to a terrible football show. This is episode 13. I am Alex Light with Sparky3. Feeling much better. Shout out to Shane, who held it down last week and kind of took the reins for me, so I didn't have to talk and completely blow up my voice for the Game Awards that we ultimately did not do. Apologies on that. I was just too sick, and so was another one of my boys. It happens sometimes. But we are back once again. No Tyler in this episode, but I did shoot him a message, and I did tell him that if he wanted to randomly pop in, he could, because we are doing this over Discord. I got Shane here. Shane, how you doing? How you feeling this wonderful evening?
I'm pretty good, figuring that we're actually get to do the show. I know it's not our normal in person that I normally prefer, but hey, I guess when things come awry, we just gotta bandage it together and make it work, right?
That's true. I did not have power. It hit about 3:30. Me and Shane were going to pair up about 4 at my place, and I get a message from Entergy saying that my power was out. So I'm like, well, that's lovely. And it didn't come back on until 7 o'clock. So we're making it work. We're making it happen. Like I said, Tyler may pop in. I don't know. I mean, I messaged him on Discord if he wanted to pop in at any point in time. He can feel free to. But we at least got Shane here, so we're going to get the show rocking and rolling. For this episode, we will be recapping NFL Week 14. We got the FCS Playoffs Round 3 to kind of look at how we did there, as well as the college rewards. And then looking ahead for NFL Week 15, and we will be calling the first batch of the bowl games. The bowl games that we're going to be calling this episode will be taking place between the 17th to the 22nd. So we got like 12 bowl games, maybe. Yes, 12.
Yeah,
12. Got 12 games, so that's what's up. So first off, if you could, go follow us on Twitter at TerribleFB Show. We'd definitely appreciate that follow, as well as checking out other shows like Lighthearted Gamers, Anime Plus, and talking about movies and stuff, which we should have a new episode of talking about movies and stuff sometime in the near future, because Spider-Man No Way Home's about to come out. We're going to see it Thursday. Super pumped up about that, ready to talk about it. And then I'm ready to go see it again Friday morning. It's going to be a great time. As of right now, I know everything that happens, though, because I'm a spoiler freak.
Now I'm going to be seeing it again Friday night.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we're going to have a good weekend with Spider-Man, that's for sure. And lastly, if you want to support us further, the Patreon's a great way to do so, but do not feel obligated. Just be a friend, tell a friend that you're watching or listening. Shout out to Andy, our Tier 1 patron. I appreciate the hell out of you, my friend. With all that said, I guess we're ready to kind of hop into things. Shane, you got anything on your mind before we actually jump into our football talk?
Yeah, kind of we can bring in these, talk about these quarterbacks this massive transfer portal that's going on right now.
Oh man, it's wild. It's wild. You know, who would have thought Spencer would go to South Carolina?
Yeah, no one saw that coming, and really big drama coming out of Auburn with Bo Nix entering the portal.
Yep.
And then Tank Bigsby entering the portal, and then as of today, going back and saying he's staying with Auburn. So,
and then the USC quarterback entered the portal as well.
Right.
No landing spot on him yet. The Hawaii quarterback Javon, he entered the portal a couple weeks ago, and he is now committed to San Jose State. Wish him the best there. We have a lot of people leaving Hawaii at the moment, but I did see that Hawaii did get one transfer from, I believe, Iowa State. I believe it was a safety. So that was cool. But yeah, no, lots of quarterbacks in the portal right now. Definitely would never have guessed Rattler to go to South Carolina. That wasn't even on my freaking radar. I mean, I thought it was going to be like Arizona State or something like that, you know?
Yeah. We talked about this, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
When it was first kind of rumored that when Caleb was really starting to show himself as the future of that program, we started speculating on where he was going. I think it also was right when Lincoln Riley took the USC job, and it was right after that. What is his name? Malachi, the number 2 quarterback in the country this upcoming year.
Malachi Nelson, I believe.
Malachi Nelson. He announced that he was going to go to USC. So then we were like, okay, well, Rattler's not going to go to USC. Where he's going to go? And I know typically between us three, Arizona State was pretty much like the top
hometown
kind of landing spot for him because he's from that area. So. But yeah, moving forward with the rest of the quarterbacks in the transfer portal right now, because I know that when it comes to college football, quarterbacks are kind of important. So you got Texas A&M's Zach. No, I apologize if I butchered his name. Zach Calzada entered the portal yesterday. As you mentioned, USC's quarterback Kedon Slovis.
Yep.
Or Kedon Slovis entered the portal. And as I mentioned earlier, Auburn's quarterback Bo Nix entered the portal. Rattler entered the portal and then transferred. We've already announced he went to South Carolina. LSU's quarterback Max Johnson's in the portal. Indiana's quarterback Michael Penix Jr. is in the portal.
Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he? And Adrian Martinez from Nebraska. He's in the portal as well.
Adrian Martinez, the 12th year senior. I'm sure he has a 401k by now.
Right.
Ohio State's quarterback Jack Miller. So they have now lost 2 quarterbacks in the portal. UCF's quarterback Dylan Gabriel, which I think he's announced already that he's going to Ole Miss, right?
I think so. I think Ole Miss is going to be his destination, which I'll be excited to see how he does. I mean, I like Dylan.
And then you got Purdue's quarterback Jack Plummer in the portal. So, like I said, and there's a lot more drama in the portal right now. You've got half of Oklahoma's offenses in the portal.
Yeah.
You have like 3 receivers. You have a cornerback. You have 2 offensive linemen and a running back from Oklahoma in the portal. Yeah, it's literally like NFL free agency at this point.
It feels wild, right? Like, I mean, the portal hasn't been around that long, but like this is like the most severe it's ever been used, I feel like.
100%.
Yeah, I got to say one thing about that is whenever the new college football game comes out, I really hope the portal is utilized in the game like it is, like it's being used right now, because that would be absolutely insane to play through a dynasty and have to deal with this.
I agree, and also I think kind of like how you can be an NFL owner and make moves with an NFL franchise. In that, I hope they bring a thing to where you can be an AD. And you can set up like fundraisers and stuff for your school or boosters or something like that, and also to where you can hire your own staff. I think that'd be pretty cool to do.
That would be a nice feature that I don't know if the game has had, or if it hasn't. I don't know if it's had it for a very long time.
So NCAA Football 14 has a coaching carousel.
Yeah, I know that.
But you can't control like who you get or who you don't get, who you lose. So it'd be nice to be like an athletic director and trying to like negotiate for coaches to stay or let them walk, and negotiating other coaches to come in.
Right.
And things like that. So that'd be pretty cool.
Speaking of coaches, shift change here in conversation. Did you see that the NFL owners are voting tomorrow to allow the last 2 weeks of the regular season for teams to contact other teams for head coaching and GM vacancies?
I did not.
Yeah, they're voting on it tomorrow. So if that passes, that'll be kind of wild, because normally that's not something that happens till the actual offseason. So I'm wondering how much that will impact maybe some of these playoff teams. Like, is it going to be set up where it's just like, oh yeah, you come work for us when you make your run, if you go to the Super Bowl, whatever.
Yeah,
or is it just like, no, you need to be done?
I think that it very well could be like college, when the coach kind of has an option, especially if you're a coordinator,
right?
On a playoff team, like, okay, well, do I want to stay here with this team and make this run, or do I want to go ahead and skip out and go to this other team and start my process? So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man, because there's going to definitely be some coaching vacancies here soon, as well as some GM ones. One of the ones that we're going to potentially talk about here today is this Urban Meyer situation. It's fucking ridiculous. All right, let's roll through our previous week predictions and everything, and then we'll jump into we'll start with some NFL talk today. We'll start with some NFL talk Urban Meyer. We'll talk about some Bills and a couple other things. But first off, with our predictions, last week I went 11-3 for my NFL picks. That brings me to 125, 82-1 for college. Our one normal game, I lost, the Army-Navy game. That brings me to a 72-49 overall record. For FCS playoffs, I went 3-1, brings me to a 13-7. Tyler went 11-3 in the NFL as well, bringing him to a 119, 88-1. He picked a Navy, so he went 1-0 in college, bringing him to a 57-63. For the FCS playoffs, he went 1-3. Bringing him to a 9-11. Shane, you went 9-5 in the NFL, bringing you to a 31-27. You also picked Army, so 0-1 there. 17-14 overall for college. For the FCS playoffs, you also went 3-1, and that's bringing you to a 13-7. So me and you, man, we're tied up there with the FCS playoffs. We'll see how it'll go to finish things off. Mm-hmm. And with this, we are, now entering bowl season. Playoffs for the FCS, of course. So our normal college picks are officially come to a close. These are our games of the weeks. These are the picks that we have personally went out and selected. So let's take a look at. Let's break everything down per category. Starting with me, like I said, I went 72-49 overall, which, was the best out of really me and Tyler. Shane, I'm not going to really count you since you came in so late, which shocks me with how I started. I did not start hot at all. For the picks that I personally went out and selected, I went 61-40. For FBS Game of the Week, I went 5-1. I think my one loss was picking Michigan State at one point. FCS Game of the Week, I went 3-2. And Terrible Game of the Week, I went 3-6. For Tyler, he went 58-63. For his picks, he went 49-52. FBS Game of the Week, he also went 5-1. FCS Game of the Week, he actually went 0-5. And it was his idea to bring in the FCS Game of the Week, and he did not win a single game, which I find hilarious. For Terrible Game of the Week, he went 4-5. Shane, like I said, you went 17-15. For your picks that you went out and selected, you went 14-13. FBS Game of the Week, 1-1. FCS Game of the Week, 1-0. And then Terrible Game of the Week, 1-1. For our previous spreads, 0-2 for college for me, 9-11 overall. NFL, though, I did go 5-1. So what these spreads have told me the last few weeks is that I'm going to suck ass at college and probably need to avoid it, but I can make us some money at the NFL. That's what this told me. I'm now 9-3 in overall for NFL betting. College for Tyler, he went 0-2, bringing him to a 5-15 for his college betting. That's rough. For NFL, he went 3-3, bringing him to a 6-6 overall. Shane, you went 1-1 in college, bringing you to a 14-8. You also went 3-3 in the NFL, bringing you to a 6-6 as well. With that said, let's jump into our talking points. Like I said, we'll start off with NFL, because I guess we'll lead things off with Urban Meyer's situation. Because holy shit, all season long, this continues to get worse. Week after week, this fucking shit continues to get worse. So there was the leaked article, from Tom Paracero, I believe, is who put it out, about basically the environment within the building, where Urban Meyer pulled his assistant coaches to the side and made them defend their resume to him, or it's just because he's a winner and they're all losers, based on the resume, because he's won national championships and they're just all losers. There's that. There was the whole situation with James Robinson being benched for 20 plus plays, and he didn't even get put back in until Trevor Lawrence came up and said, we need to get this guy back in. I mean, he's our leading rusher. Why isn't he playing? After the game, Urban Meyer was just like, "Oh yeah, that wasn't my decision. That was the running back's coach's decision. So I mean, how is it not your decision? You're the head coach. You know what I mean?" And then I saw this one press conference as well, which I think you guys may have sent this in our group chat. I think it was Tyler, where he was asked about a certain player, and Urban's like, "Yeah, I think he's getting back out there. I don't have his exact numbers out in front of me right now, but yeah, he's getting back out there. He played 0 snaps." Urban has no clue what's happening on this team or in this building. And that handshake after the game with Mike Vrabel, mind you, Mike Vrabel was on Urban Meyer's coaching staff at Ohio State. These two are supposed to be, in theory, buds in theory, that Urban Meyer just looked so fucking done. Just get the fuck out of my face. The most half-ass handshake, not even looking at Mike Vrabel. Dude, fire this fucking man. You see it all the time, right? Shane, you've seen it for years. I've seen it. Tyler's seen it. We've all seen it. Where you'll have these really great college coaches try to make a swing in the pros, and they're not built for the pros. And that is what we have seen here. But in all the other cases that we've seen this in the past, have you seen a bigger collapse than what we're seeing with Urban? I know Bobby Petrino didn't even make it through a season. I know that. But even though that's the case, I don't think Bobby Petrino had the sort of collapse this has had. Have you seen anything like this before? I mean, this is the biggest collapse that I've seen.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. This is definitely the biggest kind of dysfunctional franchise that was already bad, and it just kind of turned to worse very quickly when bringing on Urban Meyer. And you bring in Bobby Petrino, that was kind of a mess too, because he was promised being able to run this high-powered offense in pros, and it just didn't deliver. And then, of course, he left on his own will.
Yep.
The way he kind of left was really shitty, but, he wasn't fired. There was no scandal like it was in Arkansas, but he did leave the NFL to come to Arkansas. So I guess I kind of gave him some leniency on that because, I mean, the 3 years he had was great, but no, you're right. This was Urban Meyer, and that whole that whole organization, that whole franchise right now is just a mess.
And what kills me about it is the Jags, like, I consider them my second team, man. And, like, Shad Khan is a joke of a fucking owner. He's not going to fire Urban. Yeah, because he even already came out and said that he's just like, yeah, I'm not going to make any hasty decisions. This dude kept Doug Marrone way too long, like 2 seasons too long, to really let him have a chance, which I get it. You don't want to fire a coach every single year. Like, I get that, man, because it's going to rack up in contracts that you're going to be paying. Because I think they're done with it now. But last season, if the Jets would have fired Adam Gase last season, then they would have been paying the new coach, Adam Gase, and still Todd Boyles if they would have done that. I think they're done with Todd Boyles' contract now. I could be wrong. Jets could be paying Todd Boyles still right now for 1 more season. But the point is, I get it. You don't want to just fire coaches super quickly. But, man, when it's this obvious that it's not working, when you have players that very obviously don't want to be there, like Marvin Jones, a veteran player who made it through Detroit, mind you. He played at Cincy, played at Detroit. Cincy is, it's on the rise right now, but Cincy's kind of it's had its rough, past, years before Burrow came in. Obviously, they got the number 1 pick after all. He made it through Cincy. He made it through Detroit. Fine. He comes down to Jacksonville. This dude literally leaves the facility and has to be begged to come back by other coaches by saying, no, it's cool now to come back. It's cool now to come back. He comes back, then him and Urban Meyer get in a fight on the field. Like, bro, when it's this obvious that this dude's not working, you need to get him gone. Hashtag fuck Urban Meyer. This dude's a scumbag. He's a piece of shit. He's a terrible head coach in the NFL. Point blank and simple. Get rid of him. But Shad Khan's going to probably hold on to him. And that's the unfortunate part is I see a legitimate road here where Shad will not fire Urban Meyer. And that's what fucking kills me.
What really kills me about Urban Meyer, going back to, I didn't really follow Urban Meyer up until he coached at Florida. But even with him being there with Florida, him winning games, but him having the kind of character players on that team, and the kind of discipline stuff that was having issues with that team. I mean, you had Cam Newton had the issue with stealing laptops, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, you had the Pouncey boys, which was always causing trouble off the field. Now, don't get me wrong, great football players, but again, always causing trouble off the field at Florida. Now, when they got into the NFL, they did kind of calm down here and there, but and of course the whole Aaron Hernandez thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can just go down that list of that roster and point out some massive glowing issues off the field. And then he left Florida for health issues. And then 2 or 3 years later, he's back at Ohio State.
Right.
And the kind of same thing kind of was happening. He was winning games, winning national championships, but he continued to have a couple players that were having disciplinary issues. And that's when people started questioning Urban Meyer and his leadership and the way he runs his team. And then again, he leaves due to health issues, and I think less than 2 years later, he's now the coach of Jacksonville.
Yep.
And then now we see what's going on there. I mean, of course, yes, he was at his own bar or something like that, or own bar when he had that lady dancing on him,
and fingering up the butthole. Can't forget that.
And then, I mean, there's this things go on that people should know. This Urban Meyer, he may be a great football coach when it comes to college, but he is not a good person. His morals are all kinds of whacked up. And it definitely needs to be put in check.
I saw one person comment out that, especially with how this season has gone, where it's just like further proven that Urban's only been successful because of the level of talent he's had, at Florida and Ohio State, where someone's just like, Urban's last great accomplishment is when he won the Mountain West with Utah. And I'm just like, damn, that could be true. Because think about it, man. He just gets plethora of talent at Florida and Ohio State. So, shit, okay, yeah, his last great accomplishment might have been winning the Mountain West.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never liked Urban Meyer ever since.
I haven't either,
but
really
lost respect for him when he left Florida after all the disciplinary actions. Skipped out on Florida's NCAA sanctions that was implemented on them shortly after due to health issues, and then a short 3 years later, he's coaching Ohio State in the national championship. So,
right,
yeah,
he's a piece of shit. Fucking fire his ass. They probably won't fire him though. Moving on from there, I do want to follow up with a conversation that we had last week, but we have to address the elephant in the room. I mean, let's be real.
I mean, we can easily skip over.
No. We need to. I mean, look, man. It's a terrible football show. What do you expect from us? Okay, it's the marketing of the show. Okay, we're a terrible show. We forget stuff. My bad. Last week, I think it was Shane. You brought up about like a possible award winners for the NFL. We were talking defensive rookie of the year, and completely failed to mention Micah Parsons. How did we do that? I do not know, but shame on us.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, he's broke the Dallas Cowboys rookie sack record, which is previous owned by DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a Hall of Famer. He's pretty close, or if not already, broke the NFL record for sacks as a rookie. He can, and like we were speaking to earlier before we started the show, he could very well be the first person since what was his name again? Lawrence Taylor to win Defensive Player of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, they held up his stats right now, and the reason why the argument's being made is because, I mean, one, you got to look at how he's being utilized, right? Like, he's got, I think, 12 sacks currently, or 12 or 14. It's one of the two, and he's not even a dedicated pass rusher. That's what's so impressive, is that he has those sack numbers, but he is not a dedicated passer. That is not his primary job. His job is all over the field right now. I mean, he can go play middle, he can go play the pass rush, and that's how they're using him. So that's one thing that makes it so fascinating. But they were holding up statistics of all the major stats of where it's like tackles, sacks, pressures, tackles for a loss, and they compared it to Khalil Mack's 2016 Defensive Player of the Year campaign. Micah's better in every category. There's no category he's not better than. So like that is right now, we need to actually, like, as a society, really come together and acknowledge that, okay, this rookie is probably our Defensive Player of the Year. Because that was another thing that we talked about this last week, was who is the potential Defensive Player of the Year. We mentioned, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Trayvon Diggs, all great picks. Micah Parsons needs to be in that conversation, potentially even the front runner.
Yeah, so kind of stat check here. Through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games. He has 75 tackles, 18 assisted tackles, 12 sacks, and a forced fumble. No, 3 forced fumbles. Insane. Absolutely nuts.
A rookie, man, this guy is arguably the best defensive player in the NFL, and he's a rookie. And that's wild. And he deserves Defensive Rookie of the Year. Patrick Surtain is balling. I stand by that. But, this guy is the true Defensive Rookie of the Year and potentially Defensive Player of the Year. Like, it wouldn't shock me if he got either or. Which is going to be wild to see. I can't wait for it. Cannot wait for the awards.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to definitely be interesting, especially with the MVP talk cranking back up with, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers being the front runner at the moment. But Matthew Stafford definitely put himself back in the conversation with the win over Arizona.
True.
Kyler Murray did his thing, even though they lost. He still played outstanding. Did you see the very first play of the game with Arizona and the Rams? I know I'm kind of getting off topic right quick,
No, I didn't.
It was insane. Aaron Donald, I think his name was Matt Diaz, is a right tackle for Arizona, or it's a guard. I forgot whichever one. I think it's a tackle because the tackle's on the end. Aaron Donald, this Matt Diaz dude, he's like 6'4", like 300 something pounds. Aaron Donald literally picked this man up like a baby by his shoulder pads and threw him. And they showed his face like being picked up, like him, Kyler Murray, like were just like astonished because Aaron Donald literally picked him up, threw him away, and came after Kyler. Like, it was insane. But
Aaron Donald's just a freak of nature.
Yeah, it's nutty.
Oh man. Next topic we got here. Are the Bills dead? Like, really, are they dead? Is this done? Like, we know they have the pass offense. We know they got the defense. But, man, I'll be real. Unless they can get an actual running offense to help take pressure off Josh, they are not making a run, flat out. Like, are they dead? Do you share that same opinion?
Yeah, I do. And I kind of see it as it's almost as an issue like really, I can't even think of it because they were so hot early in the year, and they got blown out by somebody, and then lost to somebody 6-9, and offense is showing glaring inconsistencies, especially coming from running the ball, and Singletary's not getting it done. Of course, Zach Moss isn't going to get it done. They need to definitely seriously look at the draft or some kind of free agency and try to get a running back. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to how well their offensive line is playing in overall, but
not bad. They just don't have good running backs. That's the problem. Zach Moss and whoever else is back there. I'm drawing a blank. Devin Singletary. Neither one of them, man. Neither one of them is a guy. They need a guy, man, because right now, like, you're in a position where you've been in where you're putting all your pressure on Josh, and like most quarterbacks can't do that, dude. Most can't. I mean, we've seen it even with the Chiefs before, where they'll have Patrick throw 60 fucking balls and maybe lose the game. Like, you can't just have a one-dimensional offense. It just doesn't work 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. And it'd be interesting. It could very well be a situation to where they may look at, possibly the best running back in the draft, which in my opinion is, of course, if Kenneth Walker just decided to come out, he very well could be the top running back coming out. And that'd be right in their wheelhouse. I don't know if they'd think that he's worth a first round draft pick, but he could definitely fall to them in the draft. And that'd be a very big pickup.
I agree. They got to look at it. Draft or free agency or something, trade. I don't know. They need to figure it out. Last little thing that we have here for the NFL that I want to point out here, just because I thought it was fucking ridiculous. Did you see that 2-minute shit from Chase Claypool with the
yeah.
What the hell is this guy doing?
He got up showing a little first down thing, and they don't have any timeouts, and the clock's running, and I think it was the center. The center they ran over there, like pushed him out of the way and grabbed the ball to give it to the ref. Yeah. It's just a thing of, he's like what, a third-year player.
Yeah,
he's a third-year player.
Third or second? Second. Yeah. Second.
So second-year player. It's just not knowing the moment, right? It's a situation like people were dogging him on Twitter. But it's a situation like he got in the heat of the moment. I understand it wasn't necessarily a big play. Like, it was only like a 4-yard pass or something like that.
Right.
But it was a first down that they needed. So he was trying to hype himself up. But at that moment, you just got to be mature enough to just get up, give the ball to the ref, and get the ball spiked. Because ultimately he lost him like 5 to 8 seconds probably off the clock.
Yeah, he did.
So,
man, it's ridiculous. And what killed me was after the game, in the presser, he first openly admitted that he needed to be better and, not do that sort of thing. But then he went on to like blame his teammates, where it's just like, yeah, I was going to give it to the ref and they just came and took the ball out of my hands. Like, no, shut the fuck up. No, you weren't.
Yeah, you can see on the video, he is literally like, he's on his left knee. And he points with his left arm, first down, and he like sits there for a second. And then everybody's like panicking, like looking at him, and then finally the center, I don't know his name, but he runs over there and like shoves him out of the way and grabs the ball, gives it to the ref, and they all get set. It's just a thing of awareness, and you got to realize the moment that you're in, right? And in order to do that, because in pros, it's not like college. The time doesn't stop with the first down.
Right.
So I would like to, and him, Claypool, and Juju Smith, they're both kind of like these flashy guys. They make a big play, they score a touchdown, like they like doing all these fancy dances, and that's fine and that's cool for the NFL. But in that kind of moment, you've just got to be aware of what kind of moment you're in at the time, and just do what you need to do to keep the ball moving efficiently. And spending 6-7 seconds doing that and not getting like the thing is with that as well, like you can easily get a first down, do it real quick, first down, and then run. It takes literally half a second.
Right.
But the thing is that really irks people is that he sits there on the ground like with a knee.
Yep.
And just sitting there, like, man, you gotta be aware of the moment.
Yeah, 100%. You do, man. It's idiotic. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. It would not shock me if Chase Claypool got cut by at the end of the season, because Mike Tomlin was pretty damn pissed, and he was already pissed as it was because he benched Claypool earlier in the game for some dumb decision. I think it was taunting. So I mean, I could legitimately see Chase Claypool getting cut because like Tomlin's just like, all right, I'm done with this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it definitely can become a situation like that to where if he doesn't show maturity up and towards the end of the year, that Mike Tomlin is a guy, he does not put up with the type of shit at all.
True.
So he will not give two shits. I mean, he literally let Antonio Brown walk.
And Le'Veon.
And Le'Veon.
In his prime.
Yeah, he does not give a shit. If you are not the character type of player that he wants, you will not play for Pittsburgh. Or if you do, you won't be on there very long. So it's very possible. I don't think they'll cut him. I think he's still a viable asset at that receiver position. They definitely can get something for him. But it would not surprise me either if he's on the moves this offseason.
Right. Last couple things for NFL before we move on to some college awards. First and foremost, shout out to, of course, the Denver Broncos. You're one of your teams, starting off the game with 10 players on the field in honor of Demaryius Thomas, who unfortunately passed away this past week. And leading up to a day delay of game, which the Lions did decline. So shout out to that. Just a very classy moment from the Lions and from the Broncos organization. So definitely shout out to that. T's and P's to all the friends and family to Demaryius Thomas. Dude was a stud in the NFL. Dude was a stud at Georgia Tech. It's just unfortunate situation. Just from what I've seen, passed away due to a seizure. Just had a seizure while in the shower is what I saw. So that is an unfortunate thing. My dog deals with seizures actually. So I mean, I get from one standpoint how scary a seizure can be for an individual, or in my case, an animal. So T's and P's on that situation. Outside of that, Shane, do you have any other thoughts on anything NFL related? Like any thoughts on the Bears-Packers game? What about that Cardinals-Rams game? Big win for the Rams, man. Rams needed that. They by beating the Cardinals, that puts the Packers in first place right now for the NFC. Any thoughts on anything like that happened?
Yeah, a couple things. For one, the Bears-Packer game, man. The Bears, in my opinion, played a really good game up until that defensive lineman decided to be a smart idea to discount double check Aaron Rodgers.
Floyd, Robert Quinn, sorry.
And it kind of went downhill from there. But for the most part, from I only got to see clips of the game, but they probably had one of their best showings that they've had all year, from what I've seen. But I would like to mention one thing with the Rams beating Arizona yesterday. It's the first time in like 40 years that they're at this point in the season, every team at least has 3 losses in the NFL.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it could potentially have some chaos on down the line if some other stuff happened. And regarding that as well, I think this is one of the most chaotic and one of the most kind of like, you really don't have, like, out of the top tier teams, you really don't have a team that you're like, okay, they're going to sit here and win this game.
Right.
It's kind of up for grabs, you kind of have like a pool of teams that are in the running, but out of that pool, you don't have a clear cut favorite. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it definitely makes an interesting NFL season.
I just thought of one last thing for NFL because it just popped out the other day. I think you shared it to us about the reports that apparently that come this offseason, Russell Wilson's going to be seeking a trade. I don't remember if we talked. I think that was just a couple of days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
The
So
news broke.
If that
stating
happens, I think you and I are both at agreement. If he does get traded, I don't see Pete Carroll coming back.
Yeah, and I've been saying it for now. This is the third week. If anything happens to Russell Wilson, whether he's traded out or he signs a contract somewhere else, Pete Carroll will look for another job. I don't know how many college opportunities there are, but I'm sure Lincoln Riley would love to have him as a DC, or Oregon would love to have him as a DC, or I'm sure he can easily find a spot that could pay the bills.
Yeah, or he may actually stick around and try to take another shot at drafting a quarterback. He got one right. Obviously his initial pick for a franchise savior, I believe, was Matt Flynn, if I remember correctly. Signed him to a decent veteran deal, but then of course drafted Russell in the third round. So I don't know. He might stay. He might stay and take another shot at drafting in first round, later round, or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Very well. So, but the thing that's kind of a glaring issue with me is you're losing a franchise quarterback in Russell Wilson because the front office don't want to bring. Well, I'm not saying doesn't want to, but almost isn't capable of bringing talent to Seattle to surround Russell Wilson, even when that player wants to come to Seattle.
Yep.
And Seattle's already a really hard place to get players to go there. But you saw Seattle was in, Odell Beckham's top 3, wasn't able to pull him out. And there's been players for the last 2 or 3 seasons that's come out and said, I would love to play for Seattle, but for some reason, somehow, that front office is just not able to get them.
True. And what's sad is that, literally the only pieces they need is offensive line and a running back. They got a couple of good stud receivers, just get those 2 pieces there, and they could maybe make a run. I don't know, man. It's stupid. So we'll continue to monitor that situation and see how your team does handle that. It'd be a bummer if your team lost Russell Wilson. I'm a big Russell fan, so wherever he goes, I'll be a supporter of, but that'll be an unfortunate day to come. Let's jump over to awards. Shane, why don't you kind of run us through different award winners? I don't have everyone on here on our script, so if you got anything else you want to shout out, feel free. Why don't you run us through the award winners here? Mostly because I've been consistently trying to fight off coughs for the past 20 minutes, and whenever you're talking, I'll mute and cough. So this is going to be another opportunity for me to mute and cough.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let me get them pulled up here. I'll kind of go over the ones that we have here. So of course Heisman and the Maxwell were both won by Bryce Young.
No surprise.
The Walter Camp and Doak Walker both were won by Kenneth Walker. Coach of the Year was Luke Fickell, which I think he definitely deserves it, but I think with how the voting ended up being, he kind of ran away with it, and I think there was definitely some other coaches, Sam Pittman, that deserved a little more recognition in the votings when it comes to that. Davey O'Brien also was won by Bryce Young. The Johnny Unitas Golden Arm was won by Kenny Pickett. The Blitnikoff Award was won by Jordan Addison, the first Pittsburgh receiver to win that award since Larry Fitzgerald.
Hey.
John Mackey Award was won by Colorado State's tight end Trey McBride.
Hey, shout out to Colorado State for having a good player.
I remember when I think he was one of the players that killed us when we played Colorado State and lost. So yeah, shout out to him. Outland Trophy was won by Jordan Davis. The Lombardi was won by, you don't have a last name here or a first name. It just says Aiden.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah. don't know why I didn't put that two and two together. Terrible football show.
We're a terrible show.
Yeah. The Remington Award was won by Tyler Linderbaum. Sorry if I butchered that name.
I think it's Linderbaum.
The Bernard Award was also won by Jordan Davis. The Nagurski Award was won by Will Anderson. And the Dick Butkus Award was won by Nakobe Dean. So shout out to those guys. Definitely deserve those trophies. I'm trying to still find my thing that I had on the awards, but I seem to have lost it. Oh no, here it is. So I'm just trying to do a quick look over here. I think we pretty much covered it. Jim Thorpe Award was, which is the best defensive back in the country, was won by Cincinnati's Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah, thank you.
The Burlsworth, which is the nation's top previous walk-on to earn a scholarship and go on to have a large impact on his team, was of course won by the hometown boy Grant Morgan of Arkansas, which is the Burlsworth and the Broyles Trophy both came from the University of Arkansas. That's good to see. The Ray Guy Award was won by the Matt Arriaza from San Diego State, which is the nation's best punter. Let's see here. Speaking of the Broyles Award, it was won by Michigan's OC Josh Gaddis. And also we'll shout out the academic Heisman, which is the William V. Campbell Trophy, was won by Iowa State's Charlie Kolar. So, I think that's pretty much everything on the trophies and the awards.
You think you think everything was hit right, or you think anyone got snubbed?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much hit right. I think definitely, the Heisman, the way the voting was, Bryce Young ran away with that. I agree. Kenneth Walker was definitely probably, one of the best offensive and running backs in the country. I think the only one that I really have an issue with is, I agree Luke Fickell should have won the award, but I do think that Sam Pittman should have had a little more, I guess, kind of leverage in the votings. By what I saw by the voting, Luke Fickell pretty much ran away with it. But hey, they're undefeated, first group of 5 team to hit the college football playoff. So shout out to him. And then also the Blitnikoff Award.
You wanted Traylon.
Receiver, yeah, Treylon Burks, man. There's no way, because I know on these awards it's not just only stats, but it's also got to be an eye test. And the thing that frustrates me the most, he didn't even make the top 10 list for that award. So you cannot tell me by stats and the eye test that he is not at least a top 10 receiver in the country.
Right.
And I would arguably say that he's the best, if not at least top 4, to be a finalist. So I think those are kind of some snubs, but again, extremely biased as an Arkansas fan. So
one that I kind of bring into question, but at the same time, it's just like, I get it. He's the Heisman winner. Is that I understand he's an overall, as a whole, outstanding player. But if we're talking strictly a quarterback, I would have probably looked at Davey O'Brien for maybe Kenny Pickett. But maybe I'm a little biased because I really like Kenny Pickett. But I get it. Bryce is the Heisman winner for Alabama. They beat Georgia. He had a pretty good year, but I don't know. Kenny, if you look at down to statistics, Kenny Pickett, I think, was overall the better quarterback. But again, I get it. Alabama quarterback. They beat Georgia. They beat all this great competition. I get it. I understand why he's the Davey O'Brien. I would have just liked to see Kenny win that one.
Yeah, I agree. And it just kind of goes hand in hand, right? If you win the Heisman, you're most likely going to win the Maxwell or the Davey O'Brien,
or whatever award for the position you are.
Yeah. And then same way with the Walter Camp. If you win that award, most likely you're going to win the Doak Walker if you're a running back. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Of course, you could say that with all offensive positions, right? If a receiver wins Heisman, most likely he's also going to win the Blitnikoff.
Yep.
So
So it just goes with hand in hand. It is what it is. But hey, at least Kenny Pickett won something.
But I did see this thing saying that Kenny Pickett has emerged as the number 1 quarterback for next year's draft.
I did see that as well. I'm pretty pumped about that. No, actually, you know what? Let me backtrack. You know, Bryce Young should not have won the Davey O'Brien. It should have been Bailey Zapp of Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, baby. That's the best quarterback in the nation. I'm going to keep riding that train. So before we move on from our just kind of talking points, because we already hit the transfer portal stuff, Oregon hired their coach. Who was that? Who did they hire?
Georgia's defensive coordinator.
That's right. How you feeling about that hire?
Landing or something like that. I think it's a good pick. It's definitely a different type of hire than Oregon's had the last couple of years or last couple of coaches, including Chip Kelly. You know, Chip Kelly kind of revolutionized college football.
Yep.
With the whole RPO read option kind of play. And then the coach that they hired after Chip Kelly, he kind of continued that, because I think it was the offensive coordinator at the time under Chip Kelly. But then after that, you know, of course, they brought in Mario Cristobal, which still kind of ran the kind of same offense. Yep. It was kind of a spread RPO. And now they're not only not bringing in an offensive coach, they're bringing in a defensive-minded coach, which is definitely going to be a different look for Oregon. I'm definitely looking to see the talks and what offensive coordinator they're thinking about bringing in. You know, especially since kind of the top commodity right now was Ole Miss's offensive coordinator, but of course he signed on to play under Brent Venables at Oklahoma. So, okay.
I do feel good about where Miami is with Mario Cristobal. You know, we just officially had the press conference for Dan Radicic, whatever his name is, Radovich, Clemson's AD. Which, you know, right now, man, Miami is dishing out, a lot of money, you know, just to kind of get this whole thing done. Manny Diaz did get hired as the DC for Penn State. Shout out to you, Tyler. But I feel good about where Miami's at. We're spending a lot of money. We're really investing in, you know, hopefully going to get kind of back to a winning program. We'll see how it goes. With that, you got anything else to kind of chat about, or do you want to jump into some picks here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take these picks.
All right, let's do it. I know you can't hear the music since you're over Discord, but I am going to play the music for at least the listeners at home, wherever you're listening on the 30-plus platforms that we're on, like Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, CastBox, etc. Or if you're listening at youtube.com/Sparky3, make sure to give us a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to hit the music.
Also, a quick plug real quick, for the first time ever, this thing's being live streamed over on my Twitch channel at the moment.
It is. I forgot.
Twitch.tv/IamRazor_. So if you're listening to this, I guess it could be a thing if we ever do Discord again. I could be live streaming to where you can get the episodes early. So
I will say a live show is something that I would love to explore in the future. I've told Tyler that before. I've told the boys that, when, you know, like Zach and John and stuff, even though they're not involved with this show, they're still involved with like all talks of what happens at Sparky 3. I have told them that I do want the Terrible Football Show, to be a live show at some point. It's just the matter of when. That's the thing. It's the matter of when. I
agree. And I think especially now with, you have a Twitch channel, of course. I have a Twitch channel. You have YouTube, where we could definitely branch out. You can stream from the Sparky 3 YouTube while I'm streaming it from Twitch, kind of bring in all eyes as possible. So definitely go give us a follow and or a subscription on whatever platform. Leave us a rating, a comment, and let us know what you think.
For sure. All right, so let's hit the music here. Start off with the normal, which also, for the record, I am going to add more music. I've been lazy and just have not done it. I just want that record to be known. There will be some new tracks in the future. So we're going to start off with our bowl games here. We got 12 to pick from. These games are taking place from the 17th to the 22nd is the current date range. And also make sure to go compete against us in the Capital One Bowl Mania. That link's down in the description below. Get on there, make your picks. If depending on how well you do, there could be a prize. So we'll kick things off with the Bahamas Bowl. That is Mid-Tennessee. and Toledo. Tyler picked mid-Tennessee. How you feeling on this one?
Unfortunately, I haven't really paid attention to either one of these teams this year. But I did go ahead and pick the favorite, Toledo, with this. I believe, not only with like ESPN had them picked. I mean, it's like 91% last time I checked, but also they are a 9 or 10.5 point favorite right now. So
I'm going with Toledo as well, and I think that's what I picked in my Bowl Mania. A couple of these are kind of foggy on how I did with my Bowl Mania. Next one is the Cure Bowl, NIU and Coastal Carolina. I'm going with Coastal Carolina. Tyler went with NIU. How you feeling on it?
I was really wanting to go Northern Illinois. I think I've actually picked them to win all 3 games all 3-4 weeks that we've covered them at this show since I've been on. But unfortunately, I did go with Coastal Carolina. They're just playing too good right now. I mean, they're a 10-2 team. Right now, they spread. They also have Coastal Carolina at 10.5 favorite. So I had to go with Coastal.
Okay. Next up, the Boca Raton Bowl. We got Western Kentucky and Appalachian State. You know I got to go with my boy Bailey Zapp. We're going with Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, and so is Tyler.
I am as well. I love great quarterback play, and Appalachian State's got a good quarterback, but
they do, yeah.
I mean, Bailey Zapp is on another level.
He is the true Heisman winner.
But they do have Appalachian State as a 3-point favorite at this moment. So
okay. Next up, New Mexico Bowl. We got University of Texas El Paso and Fresno State. I'm going with Fresno on this one, and as is Tyler.
I am as well going with Fresno State. Only because I picked against them with San Jose State and they blew them out. So I'm going with Fresno State.
Independence Bowl, UAB and BYU. Tyler and I are both going BYU.
I am as well going BYU.
Next up, the Linktree Bowl, Eastern Michigan with that dope-ass gray field, and Liberty. Malik Willis's second to final college game, if you count the Senior Bowl. If you don't count the Senior Bowl, this is his final college game. I'm going with Liberty. Tyler is going with the Eagles.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of Malik ever since last year. Again, I'm a big fan of great quarterback play. I think he's a great quarterback. He could definitely be a sleeper pick in the 4th or late 3rd to early 6th rounds in the draft this upcoming year. So I'm going with Liberty.
Next up, this one's tough for me to pick. Jimmy Kimmel, LA Bowl, Utah State and Oregon State. It's tough for me to pick because this is probably going to be the one where I have my one emotional pick, because I think Utah State's going to be the one to win it. But boy, give me the Beavers. I'm going with Oregon State.
I was doing the same, but again, I kind of go back to Fresno State. I've been going against Blake Anderson and Utah State all season. But I'm going to give them some credit. They're 10-3 right now. They're favored to win this game. I'm rocking with Utah State.
All right, bet. New Orleans Bowl. We have Louisiana Lafayette and Marshall. I'm going with the Raging Cajuns on this one.
Yeah, Raging Cajuns, they're just too good right now. They're playing some great football. I mean, they're 12-1. I know they play in a Sun Belt conference that's kind of depleted with Arkansas State not playing up to level, but going with the Raging Cajuns.
As is Tyler. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, we have ODU and Tulsa. Tyler is going with Old Dominion. I really don't know how to pick on this one. I think I'm going to rock with Tulsa, though.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Tulsa only because when I wanted to beat up on a team because I was angry at NCAA Football 14, I would play Old Dominion and beat them by like 80. So I'm going to go with Tulsa.
Idaho Potato Bowl, Kent State and Wyoming. Naturally, Tyler's going with Wyoming. How you feeling on this one?
I'm going to side with him. I'm going Wyoming. This kind of Vegas kind of has this game as a 50-50, or ESPN has this kind of as a 50-50 game. But I'm going with Wyoming.
All right, as am I. Next up, the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Bowl, University of Texas, San Antonio, and San Diego State University. Honestly, this is probably going to be a damn good bowl game in this first stretch. I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah, this is probably one that I'm probably looking the most forward to in this first week. And this is going to be my emotional pick, even though I've been kind of riding with them all year since I've been on the show. San Diego State right now is they're actually a 2.5 point underdog at the moment. And they're ranked in the top 25 though, but I'm still going to go with the University of Texas San Antonio.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Give me the Roadrunners. Tyler's rocking with the Aztecs there. And the last one for this first stretch is the Armed Forces Bowl. We have Missouri and Army, which Army is actually the favorite right now, which shocked Shane and I both.
Yeah, very shocking. With a team like Army, I didn't expect them to be a favorite, especially coming out of Vegas. I'm not really sure what the favorite is on ESPN. I think it's actually Missouri on ESPN, but I am going to go with Missouri. Army's a favorite right now. They're sitting at 3.5. So I'm definitely gonna pick with Missouri during bowl season. I'm one of these annoying guys that just picks the SEC unless, of course it's a good game like Georgia and Michigan or Alabama and Cincinnati. Like I'll go straight and unbiased on those type of games, but for the most part, I'm gonna go SEC. Even though I don't like Missouri whatsoever, but I'm picking the Tigers to win this game.
I'm rocking with you on that one. I'm going to go with the Tigers. I just feel like they have too much on offense, especially the running back. I feel like the running back from Missouri is actually a low-key stud. And Tyler's going to rock with the Black Knights on this one, so we'll see how it goes for him. Next up, the last two games for the FCS Playoffs. We have these two and then the championship, man. We're almost done with FCS. It's been a wild ride. Sam Houston lost last week. Fucking insane. I would not have expected that. That was mine in year one loss.
Yeah, Montana State kind of put it on them. Wasn't even close.
First one we got is James Madison, which of course is leaving FCS level and going to Conference USA and FBS, going against North Dakota State University, the Alabama of FCS football. Tyler's going with James Madison on this one. I kind of want to pick James because of what we were saying last week, that I would like to see them or Sam Houston leave on top. But I already had my one emotional pick. I think I got to go with the logical one, and I'm going to go with the Bison.
Right. If it was this time, if this game was this time last week, I'd be right there with you. But as Lee Corso and as Tyler's probably going to be laughing doing this, not so fast. I'm going with James Madison. I listened to an interview from James Madison coach last night on my way home from work. And this man coached under Nick Saban for a couple of years, along with some other Hall of Fame coaches in the Division I level. So I'm going with James Madison.
Damn, I didn't know that. It's a good pick then. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with the Bison. I'm going to stick with my gut. Next up, San Diego State University and Montana State. Are you going to go with Montana State after the beatdown they put on against Sam?
Man, I want to, but again, I'm trying. These are both emotional picks. My heart says to pick Montana State. I think they are a better team, but man, that South Dakota quarterback.
I know.
I've been rocking with him all year, man.
Same.
Or at least since I've been on the show. So I'm gonna go in South Dakota State.
That's who I'm rocking with as well, and so is Tyler. Man, that quarterback is fucking electric, okay? I mean, that's just the bottom line. Like, going into the rivalry game that is North Dakota State and South Dakota State, that was the one factor for me to want to pick South Dakota State over North Dakota State when that was our FCS game of the week at the time. This is before you were on. It's just because that quarterback, at South Dakota, man, he's next level. I mean, he is a legitimate FCS threat. That's gonna be a hell of a championship game if you got the Bison and the Jackrabbits. Rivalry game, historic game there as in terms of a rivalry as the championship. Ooh, that's gonna be fun to watch. From there, we got your sharp picks of the week for college. So what you got picked out for us to bet on this week? For the record, for the listeners, I don't have Tyler's picks, but we're honest people. So whatever he picks later on when I ask him tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and count it and reflect it for next week when we go over the records. We're honest people, trust me. So what do we got going on for your spreads this week?
Well, and plus, he's not doing too hot in betting anyway. So
Yeah,
he
it
needs
might
all
be
the help
better
he
for
can
him.
get. But so Shane Sharp picks of the week for bowl week 1. I've got 3 matchups here. I've got Coastal Carolina and Northern Illinois. Coastal Carolina is currently sitting at a 10.5-point favorite. And the over/under sitting at 63.5.
God, that's so much, dude.
And it opened up at Coastal Carolina at 9.5, and the over/under still stayed the same at 63.5.
This is tough, man. I've got Coastal winning, but do I have them winning by 10.5? That's the question. I mean, I don't think NIU is a terrible team. God, that's tough. How are you feeling on it?
I definitely, like I said, this is definitely a team that in Northern Illinois that I've really liked for a while now. They've been playing some great football this year, so I'm actually going Northern Illinois to plus 10.5 to cover that spread, and I'm also going the under.
I think I'm gonna ride with you on that. I think NIU is gonna lose, but I don't think they're gonna lose by that much, and I'm gonna go with the under as well. What's your next one?
I've got Appalachian State and your man Bailey Zapp with the Hilltoppers, Western Kentucky. Appalachian State's currently sitting at a 3-point favorite with this over/under at 68.
Give me that plus 3 up front. Hammer it.
It opened up Appalachian State as a 2.5-point favorite with over/under being at 67.5. I'm going to side with you. I've got the plus 3 which was Western Kentucky, and I'm actually going to go under. I'm going to go under.
I'm going the plus 3, and I'm going the over, actually. I think they're going to put up some points. I think 50 of those points of that 68 we're trying to cover is going to be from the Hilltoppers alone. All right, what do we got next?
All right, final game for the College Bowl Week 1. I've got Missouri and Army, which was originally not one of my games, but because of the Army being favored in this game, I thought it'd be interesting to pick. So Army is currently the favorite at 3.5. The over/under on the game is 58.
Give me the plus 3.5 and give me the under.
Okay, and it opened up Army 2.5. And over/under at 60.
It's wild to me that Army's the favorite, but okay.
So, I am going to pick Missouri to cover. So Missouri plus 3.5.
Okay.
And I'm going to say over 58.
Okay. All right. We're moving on to our Week 15 picks for the NFL. This week we do have 2 Saturday games. Happens every year around Christmas. I don't know if I'm going to actually count that as Saturday games on our, spreadsheet that I have. Mostly because if I do that, it's going to fuck with all the formulas that I have, where I'm going to have to re-enter some formulas. You know what I mean? So they may just get shafted and just be considered noon games for us. It's just 2 games. It's not a big deal. So kicking off with Thursday Night Football, we got a pretty good matchup here. Big AFC West game of Kansas City at the Chargers. How are you feeling on this one? Tyler's going with the Chargers, actually.
I'm actually there with him. I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this game. Kansas City's been playing some great football. I mean, I don't think they've lost a game in a couple of weeks. But I'm going to go with the Chargers. I love Justin Herbert and that Chargers team. So
I'm going to go with the Chiefs, actually. Give me the Chiefs on this one. I like what I'm seeing out of them. Next up for our 2 Saturday games, we have Vegas and Cleveland. Tyler's going with Vegas. I think I'm going to rock with the Brownies on this one.
I think I am as well. I'm going to rock with Cleveland and Baker Mayfield. Vegas, I don't know what's going on with them. They're abysmal.
The Saturday night game, a pretty good game, honestly. New England and Indianapolis. Will that New England defense that has been playing phenomenal be able to stop Jonathan Taylor? That's going to be the question.
I think I really would love to pick Indy here, but defenses most of the time win games along with championships. So I'm gonna have to rock. As much as I hate to, I'm gonna have to rock with New England.
I'm going to rock with New England as well. Tyler's going with Indy. Running through our noon games here. First up, we have Dallas and the Giants. Tyler's going with the Giants. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was getting some background noise. Who are they playing again?
Dallas and the Giants.
Oh, I'm going Dallas. That's Dallas.
Tyler went a little off the deep end here for his noon picks, in my opinion. Next up, we have Houston and Jacksonville. Fuck, give me Houston. Easy.
Yeah, give me Houston as well.
Same with Tyler. Tennessee and Pitt. Tyler's going with Pitt. How are you feeling on it?
I'm actually going to go Tennessee.
That's who I'm rocking with as well.
Yep.
Next up, the Jets and Miami. Tyler went with the Jets. I'm going to rock with the Fins. Let's go, Fins up.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Miami as well.
Washington and Philly. You know who I'm going. It's about Minshew Mania, baby, up in Philadelphia. I don't know if he's starting. I have no idea. But either way, I'm rocking with Philly. I think he's starting. I think Jalen Hurts is still out.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm actually gonna go Washington. They're playing some great football. I'm a big fan of Ron Rivera. And plus Cam Curl from Arkansas is playing some really good football. I'm gonna go with Washington.
Tyler's going with Philly. Next up, Arizona at Detroit. Tyler actually picked Detroit here. I'm going with the Cards.
I am as well. I'm sticking with Arizona.
Carolina at Buffalo. I'm going with Buffalo. Tyler picked against his squad. That's a sign that he's given up on his team. He's going with Carolina.
I'm actually going to go with him. I think somehow Cam Newton, again, I'm trying to ride this train of Cam Newton until it falls off the tracks. I'm going to go with Carolina and Cam Newton.
All right, afternoon games. First up, we got Cincinnati at Denver. Give me Cincy. They're playing some damn good ball.
They are. I would love to do an emotional pick right here and go Denver, but I for my brain's sake, I'm going to go Cincinnati.
Next up, Atlanta at San Fran. Give me the Niners. George Kittle's on next level right now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Niners.
Seattle at the Rams. How this was such a damn good game just a few seasons ago, and now it's just one-sided in my opinion. Give me the Rams.
This is my emotional pick. Uh-oh. I'm going to go Seahawks.
Okay.
I think somehow they pull it off, and it'll cause havoc in the NFC, but go Hawks.
Also, Tyler picked the Niners. I don't know if I said that. He also says, fuck you, Jeremy. And then he's also picking the Rams. Next up, Green Bay at Baltimore. Give me the Packers.
I'm going Green Bay as well. Lamar, I don't know if he'll be ready. Reports are saying that he sprained his ankle in that game, and I know how tough that is to come back in only a week's time, so I'm going Packers.
So is Tyler. Sunday Night Football, New Orleans at Tampa. Give me Tampa. Give me Tampa Tommy.
Yeah, right now you can't really vote against Tampa Bay, so going with the Buccaneers.
So is Tyler. And Monday Night Football, thankfully the Bears' final fucking primetime game of the year that I wish we weren't on. Minnesota at Chicago.
I'm going Minnesota.
That's who I'm going to go with as well. Tyler went with Chicago. So what are your picks? What are your spreads for the NFL? What do we got going on?
All right, so Shane's sharp picks of the week for NFL Week 15. I've got the Thursday night game, Kansas City and the Chargers. It opened up Kansas City 3-point favorite with the over-under setting at 49.5. It is currently setting still Kansas City 3-point favorite. The Chargers, and it's a 52 over-under.
I think KC's going to win. -3. Well, how are you feeling on it?
Well, I picked the Chargers to win this game, so I'm still going to rock with that on my picks as well. So I'm going to pick Chargers +3, and I'm going to go under on this. I think even though as much as I would love to see an offensive battle and them score 70 points between the two of them, I think in order to win this game, a defense is going to have to step up. So I'm going to go under on that.
I think the Chiefs are going to win, but I could see the Chargers keeping it within 3, and that's my internal struggle right now. For the over/under, I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to say under. And I think I'm going to go no, I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to go -3. -3, Chiefs, give it to me. What's your next one?
I've got a Saturday game, which we do have four. We do have 4 games this week. I picked one for each day: Friday, Saturdays, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I've got New England at Indianapolis. Indianapolis is currently a 2-point favorite. The over/under is sitting at 45.5. It opened up at 2.5 New England, and over/under being 43.5. So I am going to rock, even though I picked New England to win this game in my picks. I'm going to go with a -2 for Indy. And then I'm going to pick the over.
I'm going +2 New England, and I'm going the over.
Third game is going to be Sunday game. It's going to be Green Bay and Baltimore. Green Bay is currently sitting at a 4.5-point favorite, with the over/under being 43.5. It opened up at Green Bay being a 2-point favorite, and the over/under being 45.5. So I am going to take Green Bay with the -4.5, and I'm going to take the under on this.
I'm going -4.5 and over.
Final game, I've got the Monday night game, Michigan, Minnesota and Chicago. Minnesota is currently sitting at a 3.5-point favorite, over/under sitting at 44. It opened up at Minnesota being a 4-point favorite, and the over/under being 43.5. I'm taking Minnesota with the -3.5, and I'm going to take the under, just because I think Minnesota will score a majority of the points. I think it'll probably be like a 28-7 game, something like that. So I'm going to take the under on that as well.
-3.5, and I'm going under with you. All right. Finishing off the show here, we have our terrible fantasy league standings. Nate is 11-3, J-Max 10-4, Jimmy's 9-5, Tony's 8-6 in 4th, Brady is 8-6 in 5th, Tyler's 8-6 in 6th, Dave is 6-8 in 7th, and I am trash on the rise with a 5-9 record. I've won like 3 or 4 in a row now. We're on the rise. We're gonna dominate the losers playoffs. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. All right, I'm determined on this. I'm gonna walk away with something. No fantasy thoughts. You see my record. I have no fantasy thoughts for you. Go somewhere else. Go ask someone else for fantasy thoughts. You're not getting shit out of me. Not until next season.
Yeah, not getting anything out of me. I still have a chance in both of my leagues to. I think I made the final spot with my win last week at the 6th seed. But I think I'm sitting at 6 and 8 in my leagues. I have no room for any fantasy thoughts. But as always, just in case, follow the Twitter at a terrible FB show, just in case we do give those out. Yep. Also for bowl projections, you can follow myself at Shane Marks with 3 S's on the end, or I am Razor. You can follow Mr. Alex Light at Alex Light
23 at Alex Light 23.
Yep. And then Tyler, he's not here. You can give him a follow at Tyler Honey 16.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the outro here if you don't mind. What'd you have, or what are you having for dinner?
I had Sonic. Since we recorded pretty late and my power was out, I just went and grabbed something, kind of just chilled over there, charged my phone in my car, watched some videos, watched a couple interviews, stuff like that. What about you? What did you have, or what are you having?
So I had a kind of a late lunch, around 3 o'clock or so. I was preparing for the show and I didn't want to be hungry, so
Fair.
I went and grabbed some quick McDonald's because my daughters weren't, Daddy, let's go to McDonald's. I want McDonald's. So
careful, you might give them an idea.
Yeah, I know. So went to McDonald's, got them some food, got myself a snack. But then when the show was kind of teetering on if we were going to have it or not, I made some homemade deer chili.
Ooh.
And then I tossed in some Fritos and cheese. So
there
I made
you go.
Frito chili cheese pie with deer meat.
My man.
Pretty fire.
That's what I'm talking about. That's some good shit right there, dude. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and sign off here so Shane can get back to do some streaming maybe. I can probably get ready for bed probably since I have work in the morning. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you made it all the way to the end, you're an absolute legend. Make sure you go join our Bowl Mania. It's not too late. It's still possible. Join in. Get your ass beat by me because I'm going to go perfect, completely undefeated for sure, no doubt in my mind. But just in case I don't, there will be a prize potentially. We'll see. And do everything that Shane said. Give us all a follow. Go follow us at Terrible FB Show, etc., etc. If you want to support us for a Patreon's great way to do so, but don't feel obligated. Just be a friend, tell a friend. Of course, if you are checking this out on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be a friend, tell a friend. Until next time, guys, have a good one. See ya.